Good evening, everyone. How's everyone feeling?
Great!
No. Absolutely not. So there's several reasons why that applause was insufficient. Okay, the first reason is this is a black-owned venue. That's just. So, hey.
And tomorrow's the 21st of September.
That's right. What? Also, that's insufficient because tonight is a very special night.
Yeah.
I know, you're thinking, Scott, you done put up 19 poets straight every day, back to back, every day this month. How could this one be special? Well, first of all, they're all special. But second of all, this is one of the very few poets in the lineup for whom this is their first featured reading. Poets are used to going to open mics and blowing them out with one poem, maybe two, and then sitting down and collecting their accolades and phone numbers and booty calls after the show. But here, you got to put in at least 30 minutes of work. And some poets, that's just the foreplay, right? We've had cats hitting that out like it ain't nothing. Myself included. Oh, what's up, kid? Snuck it on me, boss. So, tonight is one of those nights. And I have to tell you, this is always a very special moment, only superseded by the poet who reads for the first time ever in public. This is the second best, most anticipatory moment in poetry, when you find out if the cat has what it takes to sustain. You know what I'm saying? Do you have the stamina, the poetic stamina?
That bully shit.
Now, I have a lot of faith in Dorian because Dorian has been writing new poems, 1 or 2 new poems every week for like the last 9 months.
Wow.
Right? Like, I write a lot and that's exhausting. So he certainly got enough poems tonight. We're going to find out if there are enough of the right poems. But before that, I want to welcome you to Streetlight Guild. How many people, this is your first time in the building?
Yes, sir.
All right. Give it up for the new people. So welcome, my name is Scott Woods. I'm the owner and your host this evening, right? And so a couple things. There's restrooms on both floors, so right around that back corner and at the top of the stairs. And then also, if at any point during the show, you just want to get up, stretch your legs, whatever, you know, feel free to do that. Walk about the building. We've got art, the whole exhibit that we have right now is in the whole building. So normally it's just on the second floor, this time it's both floors, so feel free to walk about, do your thing. Yes. I got a question. Somebody asked a question.
Say I want to go upstairs. Is there a way to do it where it's not super awkward when I walk directly?
Just going up.
No, just right where you can, right
That
here.
way? Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I'm planning.
You're planning? Yeah? What's the plan?
I don't know, maybe I have to go to the bathroom. Maybe I need to stretch my legs, you know, see the art.
Nope.
So all 3 of the things that I just said. So it's my plan, you just use it.
Accurate.
All right. No, just go right behind you, right there, right up the stairs. You'll be fine. Dorian will be able to see you, but he's a pro, so he'll be okay. It's okay. When you're going out the door is when it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what did I do? So, yeah. So, yeah. I think without any further ado, we should probably go ahead and jump into this, yes?
Yeah.
Now, is there anyone anyone who has never seen Dorian perform poetry? Oh. You could do the old shit.
Yep. And I will.
Everybody, Dorian is many things to many people. I first noticed Dorian in no poetry capacity whatsoever. He DJs, he does these dope sets, usually at Oracle, which is kind of sort of around the corner, right? They make a pretty good Negroni, right? And he does these Candy Rain shows, right? Candy Rain! So I haven't made it to one, but he started coming out to my open mic on Wednesdays. The one that I just retired at Cafe Kerouac up on campus. And he would come out and then he would like sign up on a list, he would do a poem, he'd be like, all right, killer, all right. And he would just keep coming back and keep doing it. And then he would just start posting poems, like just the full poem on his Facebook page. I'm like, well, that's bold. This guy's got balls, you know, so. And he's still doing that every Wednesday in honor of the open mic relationship and all of that. He did it today. He was supposed to be like getting ready for the night. He's like, I still got the new hotness. I still got the new hotness ready. So I am very, very excited to see how this all comes together, to welcome you to the full feature poet mode. You're about to level up, right? Yeah. This is the next thing, right? And I think everybody else is pretty excited as well, yes?
Yeah.
Show your love for Dorian Ham!
Oh. So originally, whenever someone's like, hey man, are you nervous about it? I was like, kind of, but I'm like, really? I'm like, I have no reputation at all. The reputation is Scott's, so if you hate it, it's on him. This could all not be happening. It's like, oh.
I didn't pick me.
I didn't. I got chosen. And so yeah, so like Scott said, came out to like Writer's Block last year around before Thanksgiving. Went to one, went home that night. I was like, hey, I feel like writing a poem. Wrote it, came in next week, signed up. And Scott's going through the list. He sees my name. He's like, Dorian? Ambled up, read. And next thing you know, here we are. All right, so here's that first poem that I wrote, the first one I read at that open mic. The thing I shouldn't do. The blue light throws off my rhythm. I'm not sure whether I'm behind or ahead. But I imagine myself like Monk's left hand, where I'm more like the middle ninth of a Spike Jones song. Where the chaos may reveal itself to be something beautiful, or maybe chaos is the point. So when the blue light beckoned me, like the tired, distorted weeds beckons children to a white truck with the promise of frozen treats, transforming memories to magic. I think of the promise we made to let chaos shape our potential. And when I should be asleep, or maybe not quite ready for bed, I hover over your photo and think, maybe tomorrow. And somehow that didn't dissuade me from stopping writing poetry, so I wrote more. The other thing about me is that I'm often too dumb to say no about things. So I'm like, sure, write poetry, fantastic. Do a feature, okay. All right. I go into my soft political things. So I hate pretty much 98% of every development in Columbus, Ohio.
With good reason.
Yes, every 5 over 1. Every mixed use is the same thing. It's tired, it's annoying. There's a website in town, I won't say them by name, but they're based in Columbus. And they often speak about things that are underground. Yeah. Green for the grill. All right, so here is 2 development poems. Up and coming. They try to sell you the dream of 2000 with soft touch matte catalogs, carefully curated images of casually tousled sartorial choices, manufacturers' fingers grasping a clear tumbler holding blazed liquid, holding what worth 2 hours to pay. All this could be yours. A Disney Channel tilt-a-whirl of diversity, a granite countertop under a frame, living the dream. It's alive. If 20 years had never happened, if desire stayed frozen on when you could ask Jeeves, if the gauzy, focused, crisp line scenes could signal, this is home. But this isn't a home. It's a shell game with nothing underneath. Excellence designed by committee, welcoming as a brittle shoulder hug from a distant relative, success defined by people playing a different game. Getting loose. Dropping the shoulders.
You got it.
All right. Next one. TripAdvisor. Walking past mimeographed buildings, monuments to the scarcity of imagination, but true witnesses to the depth of pockets. The landscape of gray spreading across the horizon like 50s businessmen often can conquer industry. Or some other vague concept existing on Xerox press releases where one size fits none, so one size fits all. When underdeveloped is underdeveloped, the negative remains negative. No matter where you go, there you are. That there could be anywhere, but truly it's nowhere. Just a place to pause while the tailors thread the invisible loom. But seriously, so my first photo show that this has been a big week. My first photo show in my entire life came out on Saturday. My birthday was yesterday. This is happening tonight. It's a big week for the kid.
That's how it goes. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Tiffany. Also, sidebar, Tiffany's the one who maybe put the pin of money on.
You had a bouquet.
Had a bouquet.
Absolutely.
You did.
I needed that.
You did like
Yeah.
it.
How people supposed to know it's your birthday if you don't have a bouquet?
I could tell them.
That's not the same.
Not the same.
That's not the same.
But one thing that sort of struck me about the weird part about Columbus right now is that when taking photos going around and just coming here, there's a lot of places in town, if you just sort of drop yourself off, you have no idea where you are. Because every building looks so much like. It's like, am I in downtown? Am I on Fifth? I just say that and it's like, Columbus, I love you, but you consistently disappoint me. Good. All right, so like I try to put these in like a order, like a DJ set, but I realize that my DJ sets are pretty chaotic in themselves, so let's gonna go with this one. All in one go. She stood up and declared, I'm no longer available for things. Things that hurt me, things that harm me, things that challenge me, things that will change me. Frankly, there's too many things and it's exhausting. I'm making space for things like Marie Kondo, but none of it sparks joy. Just a low-grade annoyance, and at a certain point it's all a flat gray wash, so not here for that. Particularly when so much of this, and I don't have the distance to know what this is. Basically, I'm not available because I'm too occupied, pulling the shutters closed, lowering the gate, and flipping the sign. If you're going to need me, don't. I watch a lot of self-help videos. Because I need help quite often. All right. Saying hello into nothing. The only promise I'll keep is that I'll always break my promises. The only thing permanent is nothing lasts. The only truth is that there's only lies, or things that are never spoken. It is nothing louder than silence as we sit, as we lay, as I look into your eyes, trying to find questions, trying to be A. If this thing is improbable, impossibility is the next realest thing that doesn't exist. A specter you can touch, a light you can't see, a bite you can't taste. Formerly deaf people are surprised that the sun doesn't make a sound. I'm surprised that even standing together, nothing exists. So I love an arbitrary rule. I live my life controlled by arbitrary rules. So I started this notebook right after, like I said, the writer's block. I kept it all in the same notebook to keep it all organized. But I also decided that because I post on the internet, the inner tubes, as you used to call them.
The internet.
They used to call them that. They keep everything on the one page, and so if it went longer than a page, I just got to know where my internal rhythm. It was just kind of like So, and also because I love arbitrary rule, even though I have the actual notebook, I made copies. So I wouldn't be flipping by, I wouldn't be vamping for time like I'm doing now. I'm vamping. On a mezzanine overlooking. Things are weird and beautiful. You have to hold it all. The fire that makes your hands tender, the cold that makes your joints stiff, the joy that makes your heart pound out of your chest, the hurt that squeezes your chest into a knot. A love that sends you through the sky, a love that lays you out on the floor, pain that sheds you like a poorly transported china, pain that builds you like an armor for the world, anger at the trouble of the world, anger that helps you change the trouble of the world. Things are beyond your predictions, beyond your imagination, never ready for it, but always ready. Because it's not an option to go backwards, so gather things like tchotchkes on a grandparent's mantle, or a pile of rocks in a child's beach pail, because everyone's important, everyone is necessary, and you never have a treasure if you just leave it there. Yeah. All right, this is a little short bopper. Some poems are written about specific people or things, other things are just like vague, it's vibes, you know. I grew up as an emo kid, so just like emo vibes. This one's about a person. The people who know, they might know, but I'll just leave it there. Everything about you. Speak with the confidence of mediocrity. Speak with your full voice when you can remain silent. Cry with dry eyes and insult the crocodiles. How much rope do you require before you get tired of swinging?
Right here.
More fire, more fire, more fire. Lord of mercy.
Lord of mercy.
All right. I'll read this one because it was, so every now and then, like Scott said, I do post a poem every Wednesday. Sometimes just one, sometimes I have like more sort of like in the chamber. But the rule is that I can't bank it, so if I have the idea, I just have to write the idea. And so I just have to do it then, so I don't keep it. So every week it is a new poem. Because I know if I stop, it's like working out. I can get to the gym tomorrow. My sweatpants are way over there. But sometimes I go and I'm just like, the brain won't quite brain. They just can't quite get there. So I'll just like pull prompts from places and things. This is a prompt I took from a dear man Zach Hanna, who posts lots of prompts on his Facebook. So here's a prompt I got from him. So yeah, transient sun. And with the blink, the last firefly said, I am a beacon, a time machine, a promise. I am the one you don't realize is missing, but you love me when you're reminded. An earthbound constellation, a mysterious satellite blinking out a message in inscrutable language that no one can hear, yet every translation is the correct one. Every answer is the right one. Even when every question is different. I'm the unsung song where everyone knows the chorus. Most at least know the first verse, delivered with a rousing rendition with harmonies as delicate as the breeze that dries the morning dew. I am the soft whisper, the gentle dance and duet with the world. My love for the night, as clear as this jar where I'll take my last breath. So, all right, let's read some emo things. Right? This one's asymmetrical orbit. Hold me. Hold me like the grudge you've held for so long you've forgotten its origin. Hold me like the last cheer in a crowded movie theater before desperation sets in and the only options are the front row. The front row with its breakneck options. Hold me like a call to financial aid junior year. When you spend so much time on the phone, the music begins to loop, and you begin to make up lyrics for the instrumentals. And you start to translate the automated voice in other languages. And then you make a backstory for the voice. How did they get this job? What led them here? What about their voice made it the voice? When you hear the voice in other places, and when you give a slight smile of recognition, are greeted with a broad laugh like seeing a beloved friend. Was the voice ever in love? Do the exes wince when they hear them on the other side of wires and plastic? Do they avoid the phone? Hold me like imaginary scenarios that grip me like toddlers on a thing they shouldn't have. Hold me like obsessions that drive me to distraction. Yeah, this is a way black shirt. And black jeans. Meaning emo. Elegantly anything. I loved you because for so long, you were the only one to love me. But that love was remnants falling off the table that I tried to make a meal. We loved as if anything was possible, but all we had were stolen moments in shabbily lit parking lots and unremarkable corners under the unromantic quarter moon. We can pretend behind the back of relativity because we both know that your words dissolve before they hit my ears. And even a hatchback is too big to contain such little truth. So we look at it through the angles, the corner of our eyes, but never directly. Looking straight is to admit they were right. The old gray mare never was, it isn't, it wasn't, it ain't ever going to be. Yet in these ethereal moments, I think of when the moon was in reach. All right, this will be a good transition. All right, so the only thing you need to know going into this one is that Polaris is how sailors used to navigate. Okay. You'll see why this is a good transition for things. If we see Polaris, I would keep coming back to you as if my GPS marked you as home. And I didn't have to think because all the paths lead back, no matter the circuitous route or the fact that I don't understand roundabouts. But round about midnight, your beacon spins like a gyroscope out of the crown of the lighthouse. The pole's not magnetic, yet the covalent bonds linger. And you think it'd be obvious, but it's not. So even if my orbit rotates in an irregular fashion and I swing in an oblong path, soon enough I'll be basking in the warm wave of your radiation, warming me and steering me towards true north. So I posted this, and one of my friends, she was like, "What are you talking about, Polaris Fashion Mall?" And I was like, "No, the navigation thing." She's like, "Oh yeah, I know it." She's like, "But it'd be funny if you wrote about Polaris Fashion Mall." And I was like, "I might do that." But I was like, "Why should I do that when I already have the poem written?"
Tell her again.
But it's the one about Polaris Fashion Mall. If we see Polaris, I would keep coming back to you if my GPS marked you as home. And I didn't have to think because all paths lead back no matter the circuitous route or the fact that I don't understand roundabouts, but round about midnight, your beacon spins like a gyroscope out of the crown of a lighthouse. The poles are not magnetic, yet the covalent bonds linger. You think it'd be obvious, but it's not. So even if my orbit in an irregular fashion, I swing in an oblong path, and soon enough I'll be basking in the gentle waves of irradiation, warming me and steering me towards true north. Yes. Yep.
They pay you for that commercial.
Cut the check. Cut the check. All right. A manual for the year 3000. I find it distressing that the best life advice I've gotten that is 89% applicable is from a Disney movie I haven't seen. But it's so ubiquitous, it's found me down a river when others have long since tired. I held it aloft like a child's finger painting, taking its literal lines as naughty metaphors, making it a plug-and-play therapy module, straining its power past its 3 minutes and 52-second runtime. Conceal. Don't feel. Don't let them know. Well, now, they know. In the right light, the snowflakes cut like diamonds, and I shake my head in agreement as I'm listening to a wise old booze hound who's crystallized his story into gospel. While I assume I'm missing the context, it's enough for me to throw my hands up. It's funny how distant makes everything small, as if it's pressed on stone tablets carved into my heart with frost for armor. Let it go. Let it go. The cold doesn't bother me anyway. All right. Yeah, why not? In the meantime, this is not a sexy poem. This is not a poem that will make you slightly grin. You will not give a murmur of approval. You will not cut eyes to your friends in mock shock. This poem will not make you throw your head back and cackle like a B-movie character. You will not rethink your perception of me. You will not give a church shout. This will not be a turn of phrase so lascivious you laugh to spite yourself. There will be no throwing of brassieres or any other undergarments. No keys tossed or cell phone numbers called out. No calls of, boy, you better quit. No waving hands in the air like a Toledo church tent revival. This is not a poem that will make you holler on the low. This is not a poem that will make you subconsciously lick your lips while your eyes dilate. Sadly, this is just a poem. All right. Let's make some more. All right. Abstract things. This one's called Tiffany.
This is called who? Huh? I'm sorry, I'm be quiet.
This abstract joint, 3/4 baseball sleeves. An aberration of life in an ocean of concrete. The shaggy green testaments to an atomic life and nuclear family. An enduring form of nostalgia, holding on like weaves dotting its form. Bringing out men to cosplay as their grandfathers on the first day, hot enough to dream of cold beers idly held in one hand, while the other pushes the petrol barber across the closest link to wild on a right-angled grid. Carving the form in the formless, so while it might not be Everest, because it's there is volleyed over the whirling of the blade, towards the neighbor who observed and offers witness to the ceremony, a moment that exists out of time. All right, so I'm a DJ, so I listen to a lot of music. But what I realized is a lot of music, sometimes I listen to music at the wrong time. So sometimes like things you love is at the wrong time. You're like, this is terrible. Who would like this? This is awful. Or sometimes you pick a record at the wrong time, and you're like, oh Lord, I am so sad right now. Let me rewind that. It didn't hurt enough. Static pulses through wires. Listening through records after midnight feels heavier. Quiet streets, light dim. Like the match girl in her diminished stocked. The darkness like a weighted blanket, comfort in the crush, the sounds inviting you. Steering closer to the rocks than in daylight, words weaving a net, gently dragging into a new orbit, every phrase in diary entry going unwritten, as if ghosts of future past were there to bear witness, give testimony to an uncomfortable truth in a one-way dialogue. Unbelievably caught off guard, circling in a swirling churn of feelings that only exist after midnight, listening to records. I totally did a double feature of that one night. I was like, what am I doing? Why is only my desk light on? Yeah. Why is it so dark in here? Oh God.
That's smart.
Yeah, it beats like that. Tell you why. I looked at a picture of you too late in the evening, at an hour when only melancholy thrives, when the soft blush of the desk lamp isn't strong enough to chase away gray. And I'm attracted to your photo like the frantic beating of a moth's wing in an orange-yellow pool of light. Not knowing what stings more, the looking or the forgetting, the possibility of reality, a moment easy to ignore, but like a pebble becomes an avalanche under the right circumstances. Now I think I'm just going to read some sad stuff. Like I didn't get a chance to write my one religious trauma poem, so we got to do a trifecta of sad stings. But ironically, so one of these poems revolves around the rapture and how my one stepmother and her friend thought the rapture was actually coming. And he had like a book Bible study like at our house. And I'm maybe middle schoolish like when this would happen. And so I'm just there like, what? And my dad's at that house, it's like, And so before the day of the rapture, they actually had a going away party at the house. Because that was sure was like the, see you on the other side, see you on the other side, see you when you get there, see you when you get there. And you know, my dad's just kind of like, okay, whatever, y'all need some crack, here's cool, fantastic. And I had like a monster of a nightmare that night. I'm a pretty soft touch, but still. And then, you know, the rapture didn't happen. And the Bible meetings stopped happening. I haven't written that poem yet, but that's the trailer. That's a teaser. That is not the actual poem that's being read. There are other poems. Two sad, one. So I'll go with the non-sad one and lead into the sad ones because, you know, ease your wind like a toe in the tub. So I'm a big fan of Sinead O'Connor. So when she's passed, it was like a big thing. I'm like long time, like every album, every beat side, star and concert, like, you know, so for like the ups and downs, like, you know, like of my entire life. But what I noticed, and it's kind of happened like when anyone sort of dies, anything sort of in history, people kind of want to smooth over their entire life to just sort of make them like just one avatar of a thing. And like, no, like they're a person, they live like a whole life. and as much as Sinead had like righteous anger, she's mad about things, she was also very funny. She had beautiful love songs. She had kids, she lived a life. She just wasn't there to be like the Catholic Church is bad. And then I was like, no, sometimes she cracking jokes, hitting on folks. So I wrote a poem about just like the tendency to just sort of smooth somebody out. This is the day. You're not protecting me when I die. If you place me on a pedestal so high, there's no ground in sight. If you shove me into a box as flat as the perception of the people who forgot about me, if you only see my anger, if you only see my sadness and not my joy, my love, my laughter, my playfulness, need to see me at all? Or whether only an avatar, acknowledge the beauty in the mess because your guilt couldn't save blurbs. Every year, over and over, and it's a weird sort of thing where you're kind of oh, I'm good at funerals. I'm good at grief. That's a weird thing to be. I will unpack that in due time. But until then we exhale. Grief is a sense I've gone noseblind to, lingering. Like a half-forgotten Glade plug-in floating on the edges of my brain, slightly out of focus like a sun-warmed Kodachrome snapshot that comes in sharp focus at unexpected moments. A helicopter hovering out of view when you can hear the whirling but you don't know where it's coming from. It's a companion that demands little attention or not, can tend to sit quietly or pop up like a dust devil. So when I'm reminded, I soak in a fragrance, standing suspended in time. So like I was saying before, my small notebook may not write small poems. I just got a big notebook, so I'm gonna write bigger, longer poems. Any grief derailed by the shock of the sound, grief put aside for confusion, concern, with the touch of gallows humor. Ironic that for a person who loved music so much, he was denied music in the end. Even John Cage might be hard to defend that this was music. And the more he tried, the worse it got, urging us to join in on a song we didn't know, as the voice cracked like peanut brittle dropped on the marble floor. My heart broke as it just called out, I'm trying my best. Why it didn't stop, I never know. At my uncle's funeral, the preacher butchered the names. A stranger who knew nothing of a man who was in so many ways unknowable. In a sparsely attended service, I was more distracted than sad. The suspension of disbelief stretched like rubber bands he stretched at my cousins and I growing up. If this was a scene, I'd ask for another take, but an imperfect memory is still a memory. While it wasn't what you'd want, there was beauty in a brokenness. The piano player couldn't sing, but neither could my uncle, so he sang for both of them. All right, shake that off. For our next number. Every woman has a guy in her inbox talking to himself. Like dandelion seeds taken to the air, they spread across fertile ground in questionable usefulness, but perceived uselessness, the gray-white choking the inbox, because every woman has a guy in her inbox talking to himself. 3 gray dots pulsating in a loop of promise, in the stop, and then stop. White space, absence of color, red. Every woman has a guy in her inbox talking to himself. And the dialogue becomes monologue, echoing off the ceilings and the curved spaces, disintegration into erratic dispatches, the cage spark, we set at 0. No answer is an answer. No answer is an answer. I think last night, Ghosted so hard, Ray Parker Jr. offered his services. With a wry smile because he's seen it before. The characters may change, but the story stays the same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Ray interrupts my thoughts. Actually, it's who you going to call. Now the person's answer with the punctuation, the temperature drop, a haunting, driving service around tonight is too quiet. Things seem more theoretical than actual, more ephemeral than enduring, less physical than intangible. If you're seeing things running through your head, Ray senses my distraction. You know what? This one's on the house. Just have a few more. All right. Soft focus camera. The smoke curled around her hair as she sat too far away to touch, but close enough to burn. Floating like a Tennessee halo or low-flying cloud, fracturing the afternoon morning sunlight into 1,000 light bulbs so I can take sepia-colored photographs. Nostalgic for the moment I was currently in, but nonchalant was too formal a term for the way she casually held things at a distance, but tight enough to leave a mark. It's spent halfway in the sky. I wouldn't be surprised if she took off and flew. Bottom of the Alice's sun, and I don't heed the warnings. I don't see how the smoke is an armor to protect her from this moment, to protect her from herself, to anchor her into the sky. I couldn't make out the message of our Tower of Babel 2 feet off the ground. Rings around Mars. She stared into the black mirror, looking for a reflection of who she could be. She buried her past in an algorithmic neglect, making memories a distant format no longer supported. She thought happiness was around the corner, but the GPS blares, rerouting. A fast run may only stir up dust. The straight line may curve into a circle, bending back into the start. Progress isn't a promise that can be kept. Regression isn't a magnet that's always charged. When she thinks she's cleared the attic, she finds a cedar chest of things discarded. Some things will still fit, even if it's not to her taste. She runs a wistful finger down a hem and hopes some things stay out of fashion. Red number 40. So, this had nothing really to do with the poem, but I'm a big nerd and I looked up like the different sort of red food dyes that were used up over periods of history. That's what it's like to be me. Hey Siri, how many food dyes were there? Red number 40. Move quickly as not to disturb things you hate, arousing them from layers of sediment, compacted into a foundation of non-shifting sand, a temporal monument set on a seismic plate of instant nostalgia. Move quietly as not to disturb the things you fear, arousing them from corners frosted with dust, barely acknowledged, accepted as non-permanent architecture and casual admission that a breeze will come, setting off a chain reaction, moving directly as to not disturb the things that you love. Arouse them from trunks obscured with worn locks, protected with impermanence on a base of low-flying clouds, to never be touched but always seen, anticipated when all things must fall. Let me do 2 more short ones before I close out the long one. All right. All right. Okay. Decisions have been made. No.
All right, Dora.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Leadership.
Yes. Big moment.
Shit. Dust that shit. Dust that shit.
Definitively.
Tell me to shut up again.
I love you, Tiffany, so I won't. I will never tell you to shut up. That'd be rude, and I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Fragrance free. The lies I tell myself are the only truth I know. And in the face of fact checking, I question the data, assume the methodology is skewed because how could I be so wrong for so long? And if I was wrong about that, what else has been held back in a pixelated filter or fourth generation resolution when the things I know to be true are really just things I believe? With the chorus of what a fool believes playing on loop in a mental muzak, slow to dissolve the foundation which was built on cardboard set on melting snow, and not the steel wrapped concrete I believed. Now a question, exam, hoping to reverse polarity to positive. True North. The funny thing about me writing the poems that I just read them, I post them, I never actually read them again, unless I'm at Poetry Calden, every Wednesday at Cafe Kerouac, the Poetry Calden at 8 o'clock, Cafe Kerouac every Wednesday at 5 o'clock, open mic poetry.
5 o'clock or 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock, $5.
Oh.
It's such a good price for so much poetry. And so, like when I was going through and sort of trying to pick out yes, knowing, yes, knowing, yes, knowing, I'm like, oh, I tend to do some of the same imagery a bunch. Just acknowledge it. I just saw it and was like, yes, that's a thing that I do. So clouds, directions, nautical steerage. I say that because this one is called True North. Time is a linear endeavor, except when it circles back, folding upon itself like study hall notes. There's never a now because every moment is past, and you can never step in the same stream twice. Once to acknowledge, the second to regret. 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, like a broken cha-cha played on a skipping hi-fi. Only living in that blessed moment, that cursed moment, that forever moment. Future stuck in a buffer loop where the line never advances. And if you experience repeated disruptions, that's a feature, not a bug. It feels like it only goes backwards as the map is transcribed as a dot. But the provisions are packed for 800 miles for a journey frozen like Shahoutin, waiting for the thaw. And now, a word from our sponsor. The bar is buried so low they need a metal detector to prove its existence. There is never a quiet part, just escalating volumes that cause damage with the slightest exposure. And they love the old show so much they rebooted it with the same actors. After all, the scripts were written, the players knew their parts, but this time will be bigger, brasher, bolder, bombastic. Erasing the subtlety while a wide pupil glare softened with the focus group approved haircuts, while those outside of the company stand with unproduced scripts or show orders cut short. Programs shuffle to graveyard slots, to lie withering before they die. Their manufactured failure proof of inferiority, while the same old song and dance does numbers out of comfort and familiarity, because quality isn't a concern.
Yep. Is that gonna work?
Yeah! Sorry, yeah!
That's not working, it was a crutch anyway. All right, so this is gonna be my last poem. I'd like to thank all you guys for coming out. The people who know me, the people who don't. I appreciate you. I would say this was a dream, but this was never on my possible radar for anything that could have ever happened. So I'm already fighting above my weight class. And thank you all. So the last poem is things I wish I would have said to you before I fill out your algorithm. Look, I'm standing naked before you. Don't you want more than my sex? 'Cause I can scream as loud as your last one, but I can't claim innocent. Oh God, could it be the weather? Oh Lord, why am I here? Said love, if it's not forever. Now normally I don't do this type of thing. Actually, I find myself doing a deep dive on women's pockets. When I should be sleeping, the urge for miscellaneous information draws me to the blue light, the black mirror, like a tractor beam on the original Star Trek. Wait, do you have a Star Trek stance? Are you a Star Wars versus Trek? Do you care? It's not that I'm flirting, it's just that I'm attractive and talking. But sometimes I am flirting and I'm not aware. And if I'm playing it cool because I'm being cautious and I don't want to throw a grenade into the pond before the ice is melted. I take every morsel of information and ration it out. I'm both the grasshopper and the ant. It's 1820 and I'm Jean-Francois Champon and I'm studying intensely but I'm years away from a breakthrough. Oh, that was a Rosetta Stone reference. I mention that because I see parallels. I will stroll the promenade with you, hand in hand with only crickets as our soundtrack. Remember me, she said, smiling, write my name somewhere safe. Touch and taste, fades with space. I never be who you dream. And I can't write your name down because write it down to write an epitaph and we never call the time of death. I remember your favorite coffee. Well, I don't remember the brand, but I remember the can, because I don't drink coffee, but I wanted to make sure you had it as a token of consideration, a token of thanks, a way to say thank you, because I'm comfortable in my skin, but I'm not always comfortable in the world. And you made me feel comfortable in a way that I wasn't expecting, so at least you deserve a cup of coffee. And do you not watch TV, or are you more of a movie person? Or are you just a book person? There are questions that are burning, but I snuff them out like candles after Mass, waiting for the ringing of the bell for the next ceremony. And I wonder if it was too much or too little, because this is the last love song I write. And if the hourglass is broken, do we round up or round down? And can we start from the beginning or assume this is the end? The gentle sand punctuated by glass. I remember the first times, and now I guess it's the last time, because all those notes and all those words are all that's left in me. And I've been those pages, count my words, set free, and one last scroll set me free. And this is the last love song that I will write for you. This is the last love song that I'll ever write for you. Normally I don't do this type of thing. Thank you.
Show your love one more again for Dorian. So thank y'all so much for coming out. That was truly, truly great. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. So we are doing this again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Poet number 21, who is it? George Lee Jr. So it'll be his first time performing in this space.
Yeah.
Although he's no stranger to the microphone. So you can come out for that. And then Friday, I have to run an audible. The poet that we had booked can't do it. So I asked someone very special, someone who's in the room tonight. A.D. Dietrich in the back. It's going to be our Friday feature. And I can't remember anything after that. So, okay. So thank y'all so much for coming out. Y'all have been a great room. If you want to look at the art some more upstairs, whatever, we'll be open a few minutes longer for you to do that as well. Thank you and good night.